Hello and welcome to Practice Assessment 1, Task 2.2, Question A of the practice of the AAT Level 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Osborne Book website. So just osbornebooks.co.uk. It's there on this screen there. I just highlight it up. Click on the Products and Resources tab. Onto that tab, double click on there. Go down to AAT Accounting AQ 2016. Double click on that. When you double click on that, you're going to go through and slide down to here, this Advanced Diploma Synoptic Workbook here. Double click there with your left mouse, and that will open up the resources for this particular ebook here for this one, or for this book that you'll get. And you'll slide down to a Practice Assessment 1 Task 2.2 Data. Double click with your left mouse on that, so hit it a couple of times quickly. And then that'll give you the option to open up this this workbook. So this is an Excel workbook here. So and within their workbook there are worksheets, and these are denoted by these individual tabs. You will actually only have these 3 sheets in the one that you will download, and because I'm recording this in game mode, it switches off if I move between tabs, so it's a little bit clunky. So I'm having to do it like this. So you'll have these 3 tabs here. In fact, I think it opens up as you close off there. Slide across, and it says open this file and go across to the worksheet. So this is a worksheet within a workbook. Go across to the worksheet called Invoices. So in here we've got a list of invoices. Yeah, and what the question says is check for and remove any duplicates in the invoices. So we've got the invoice number here. We're going to check and remove any duplicates within there. If there are any duplicates, enter the number in cell H1. Okay, then we're going to use a lookup. So we're going to find the price of the item in here, and we're going to multiply it by the number of items sold and put that in there, which will be the net figure, the amount that we sold. And then we're going to use absolute referencing, which I'll take you through as well, in terms of to calculate the gross value using this VAT here. And we're then going to also as well go and show our equation. So I'll take you through. Let's do the first bit then. So it says we're in this invoices worksheet in here. So we've got some names of some items. We've got the item number here. We've got the number sold, and we've got the invoice number here. And it sort of gives an indication that there's some duplicate invoices. So like this invoice number here. It says find a number of duplicate invoices, and there put the number in there and remove them. So there's a first option that we can do. And here, so we can highlight all of these invoices. Now, the way in which I'm doing this quickly, which you just sort of seen there, I either click in the row or into the cell, there, and I highlight it. There, though, I keep my finger on the Shift button, and I press End once, and then I press Down once, and you see how it goes immediately to the bottom. Provided there isn't any breaks in the actual data that I've put, no gaps in it, it'll take me right to the end. So you can see here there was 259, or going down to row 259. That was quite quick really, so I'll just do that again. I put my finger on the Shift button, I press End. Actually, I'm going to go right here first. Press the right arrow once, and you see how that went straight to the right arrow. And I press the End button once again. I've kept my finger on the Shift button, so I kept my finger on the Shift button. I press the End button once again, and I press the arrow button down once, and you see it goes straight to the bottom. It's just a little bit faster in an exam, or just in work in general. You find this quicker. So I've got this option then. Now I've got to remove these invoices. And option number 1, we're going to do this in 3 different ways. Option number 1, I could go into data in here, and I can hit this remove duplicates option here. So I've gone into the data tab here, I've highlighted all this data, I've hit the remove duplicates, and it selects all of these things and would look for duplicates all over the place. Well, that's not going to help because these have got a lot of duplicates and they're supposed to be duplicates. They are, the various products or whatever. So we're going to unselect all of the options, and we're going to just pick the one with the invoice number in. Okay, and we're going to press OK. And it comes up and it says there's 3 duplicates found that we've removed. Okay, so if I was doing it this way, just remove the duplicates for me, I put a 3 in there, and that would be the answer. Now that's not a great approach. In reality, we wouldn't want to be using this in practice. It's not really the correct question Because if we had duplicate invoices in here, we would want to know which ones were the duplicates, because one of two things was happening. Either our finance software system was breaking down and it was returning duplicates in our downloads. You know, we're pulling things out of our finance system into Excel because we want to analyze it out, and it's breaking down in the approach. Or alternatively, what's more likely is that we have actually posted this invoice twice to the sales daybook, or in the software system. It's now appeared twice in our sales and twice in our sales ledger, and so our accounts would be wrong. So we'd actually, instead of we're just wanting to remove them from this download and just how many were there, how many were wrong, we would want to know which ones were wrong. We'd also probably want to know who had actually posted them as well, so we could see whether there was a training need within our staff members. Is something going wrong here? Is there another department posting to our accounts, or something's not quite working? So we wouldn't, in reality, answer this question like this. We would actually search for the individual numbers. So really, the question should have been which are the invoice numbers that were wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo all of this really, and the undo button is here. This little arrow here is undo typing. So I'm going to undo that, I'm going to undo that, and undo it again, and it's set it all back to naught. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Clear out this sort of stuff. So I'm back here to this, which actually let me just clean that up because I was practicing away a little bit. Okay. So the first option was to go for an undo method. Just get that out of the way. So I could have undone. So I could have removed duplicates, and that was highlighting the data, going to this remove duplicates in here, hitting that as the option, unselecting all of the columns, going to the column that I really wanted to use, which was the invoice column, and remove the 3 duplicates, and I would have put the 3 in H1. I'll undo that because I don't like that at all. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a logic test. I'm going to try and find what are the wrong ones. So in this instance, it will be an if. So if, and then I'm going to look at this. Well, if now these invoices are all nicely in order for me, so they're running sequentially in order. So if that if this number up here was equal to that. So let's say this number was equal to this number, or this number was equal to this number, then that's a duplicate invoice. So in this, I'll set it up first really in here. So if H5 is equal to H4, then we know that that's a duplicate. Okay, so if H5 is equal to H4, we know that's a duplicate. So we'll put that as a 1, and if it's not, we'll put it, actually in this instance, we'll put it as 2 little speech marks, so do nothing really. This is do nothing at all, Excel. So what the structure of this this test is we've got a little equal sign, which is telling Excel we're doing something here. We're doing some form of equation. We've got an instruction element in here, and this instance it's an if equation. We're going to have a logic test here, and a logic test is, well, if this, whatever is the test that you're putting in place, could be anything, is true, so comma, then so if it's true, if that logic test there is true, do this. Say so if open brackets, the logic test comma is true. Is true. Then do this after the comma. If not, then there's another comma. If not, then do that. Okay. So it is to construct it. It's equals, and then it's equals, and then it's the instruction to Excel, which is if, and a little bracket to just sort of start it all up. Okay, then we've got our logic test, and we put a comma after that. Okay, then if it's true, then we do this, comma, and if it's false, then we do whatever's here, close bracket. So that would be the structure of it. So we've got an equation sign saying Excel we're going to be doing something. We've got an if, this is what we're doing logic tests here. We put the logic test in, and after the logic test we put a comma in there, and if that logic test is true, do whatever's in this bit here. If not, then do whatever's here. So if it's true, then we do this, comma, and if it's false, then we do this, whatever's here. So that would be the structure of it. So we've got an equation sign saying Excel we're going to be doing something. We've got an if, this is what we're doing logic tests here. We put the logic test in, and after the logic test we put a comma in there, and if that logic test is true, do whatever's in this bit here. If not, another comma, do whatever's in this bit. So that's how it looks. Do that now. And so here's our logic test here. If h5 is equal to h4, and if that's true, then put a 1 in there. If that's not true, in this instance, don't put anything in the way. Just put, so in order to get that, you put 2 little speech marks in. I'm going to then copy that down. I'm going to copy that down to the end. Now you see, actually, I didn't have anything to grab hold of, so that attempt to try and do that shift and end little trick just took me all the way down to the bottom of the spreadsheet. So I put that in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how many duplicates I've got. Shift end. And it says I got 3. So what I did was I did a sum here. So equals sum, so add up, and then I put a bracket in there, I put the range. Now that's the sort of a one way of doing it. I'll take that out. I'll delete that now. A faster way of doing it, a shortcut, would be to go into the home page and to hit this little auto sum, this little summation symbol here. When I hit that, see how it sort of starts to write? And what I do there is if I start where I want it to go with my thing, and I just drag with my spreadsheet or with my mouse, I can either drag it down, but it'll be a bit faster. I'll go and put down to the bottom like that. I've dragged it down. I've done the same thing as I would write in there though, but you might find it just a little bit less painful if you're using the auto sum character there. So in order to be able to do that, I'll do that again. I went in, I hit that, I then started where I wanted to start. Now I can, because I've got a series of equations in there, I can actually use my little shortcut that I tend to use, which is put my finger on the shift button, press the end button once, the arrow button down once, and there we go, and I press enter, and that gave me a 3 there. So that was the number of duplicates that I've got, so I'll put that in cell H1. Now I'm going to go around and search for the ones, and I could delete them out. So I can delete out those rows. And so what I do is I go into the row here. I go into the row, so I highlighted the row. I've actually put my mouse actually on the row here. You see how it's turned the color. I've right-clicked with my mouse once, and it brings me my options, and I delete the row out like that. And you see how it turns ref because it won't be working anymore. So I'm actually on the row cell there. You see how it's turned that color. I right-click in there. Up comes the options, and I've deleted out my row. So I've taken those out. Let me now just copy that equation down again. So shortcut for that would be Control C. Go down one below, finger on the shift button, hit end once, hit the arrow down once, Control V. That's copied it in, and now you can see I've removed all the duplicates out of there. Now that's one way of doing it. Looking through. Let's say if I wanted to highlight this a little bit more. A little bit fancier or just a little bit easier to do it, I could use conditional formatting. So here I would go into this conditional formatting tab here. Now game mode switches off when I go into conditional formatting tab, so I'm going to have to show you how this just works. I would hit the conditional formatting tab here, and it would come up with this in the cell. I'd use the option use formula to determine which cells to format. I'd double click in that. And then I'm going to see a whole in there will come up a set of equations or a formatting thing. In that, the actual equation that I would use would be equals if K5 is equal to 1. Come on, 1. Now this is just a logic test which just says if K5 is equal to 1, then if it's true, then do the formatting. I'd put the format in, which would be just to turn it, let's say a red color in there, and that would be conditional formatting. We'll do that in detail. I can't do it here, unfortunately, in this video. We'll have to do that in class when we're going through it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go down, and let's just redo that again. I'm going to go down, find my ones, take them out. And that's achieved the same output really. Then I've got the same 3 ones gone. Now it was slower than the remove duplicates, but it was a better approach because I think the question should have been what were the invoices that were duplicated, because we would then follow through and see what was going on. But that's the first part of our question. So hopefully you can sort of do that again and again so you get it right. Now the next part of the question says use a lookup function on the item number data. So use a lookup function on this here, on this item number, to calculate the net sales figure from the information in the price list here. So what it's sort of saying is use a lookup function to find the price of this item, multiply it by the number of items that we got, and that will give you your net sales figure. So we've got to do a lookup here. So I'm going to, before I actually write the lookup, I'm going to write out what a lookup looks like. So it's an equal sign. So again, we've started and we've told Excel we're doing something. Okay. Then, let me try and just press an equal sign, enter. Right. Then we're going to do what is our instruction. Let's look at our price list here. Our price list number has the item number on the left hand side and it has the price to the right. Okay, so if we're going to go left to right in a lookup, we're going to use a Vlookup. That's a vertical lookup. And with a vertical lookup, it goes left to right. If our item numbers have been across the top and our price had been somewhere down here, we would use a horizontal lookup. But because we got our prices on the left hand side, or whatever it is that we're looking to look up on in the left hand side, and the thing that we need to the right of it, then that means we use a vertical lookup. So in lookups, you have to sort of think about the structure. Okay, so here we've had a look at it, the price list. We're definitely going to use a vertical lookup. So we're going to give it the instruction to Excel. We're using Vlookup and a little bracket. Right, now this is what a Vlookup now does. In a Vlookup says find this, so whatever this thing will be. So it will be, in this instance, whatever the item number is, so B5. So find B5, this item number, comma. Then what we're going to do, so actually I put just find this, comma, in this table. Sometimes you'll see it referred to in Excel in tutorials as an array. Okay, but find it in this table. So, and actually find it in the first column of this table. So find this thing in this first column of this table. Okay, so we got this thing in this first column of the table. And when you find it, so when you find it, go along this number of columns. Okay, so go along this number of columns, and then there's a little comma. So go along this number of columns. So we want to go find the item number and then go along 1, 2, 3, 4. Now within the go along, how many columns you're going to go along, it always includes that first column as well. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 2, 3. Okay, so go along 4 columns. Now there's a little bit you're going to put at the end of this as well, and you're going to tell Excel always really to use an exact match. It'd be comma false and then close bracket. If you don't, it will try and have a bit of a try, but I've never seen it work yet really to get in remotely close, and so it's just not worth it. It really shouldn't really be as a function in Excel at all. But it is. You just have to put this comma false return, which means return exact matches, rather than have a bit of a try, which it's not really very good at. So let's write this out then. So equals Vlookup. So Excel, we're going to do a Vlookup here. And I want you to find this item number. So this item number here, B5, whatever's in it there. So we've just clicked in that, and we put a little comma there. I want you to then find it in this table here. Now, I've got 2 ways I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this probably the harder way first to just demonstrate it. So find it in this table, and when you find it, go along 1, 2, 3, 4. Go along 4 columns, comma, again, and give me back an exact match. So false. Okay, so in the way in which this was structured then, it was a Vlookup, find that cell, B5, in this worksheet. So you'll see that this is a worksheet here, because you've got this little mark here, then you've got the actual name of the worksheet, then you've got an exclamation mark in there. So that is how the worksheet is called in Excel. Then you've got the range, and you know it's a range because you've got the first cell and you've got a colon and you've got the last cell. Then we've got comma, go along in this table, go along 4, enter false. Now I've done that, and that's brought me up the price. Yeah. Well, that's the price of one item, so I'll multiply it by the number of items that are sold. So there's a little, that's the multiplication sign, the little asterisk sign, shift number 8, and then cell E5, press enter. And that was the value of the net. Now, what you'll see, if I drag this down now for the other equations, is it's not liking that at all. And what you'll see here is what's happened is it's gone A5 and D18 there. But when we dragged it down one, and we wanted to move it down. We wanted it, instead of pointing at B5 in this row, we wanted to point at B6. So we wanted it to drag down. So what you'll see, it's done that nicely for us, this movement down here. But it's also moved the table. And that A6 to D19, no longer actually has the item number in. And when it goes down, it's A7 to D20. That's not got the item number in either. So it's returned a non-applicable. It says it's not applicable, I can't find it. And what we need to do here, we need to do something called absolute referencing. So we're going to put a little $sign in before the bit that we don't want to move when we drag it. So if you move something left to right, so I'll drag this to the right here, you'll see how the A's have become B, the A became a B, and the D became an E here. So the A became a B, and the D here became an E here. There it became a C and an F, and there it would be a D and a G. Okay, so we wouldn't want that to happen. So if we want to stop that, you put a $sign in front of the letter. Okay, and if we drag it down, if we want to stop it when we're dragging down, we put a $sign in front of the number. Now sometimes you want it to actually one bit to actually move and another bit not to move. So you really sort of need to work out what you're doing really with that. So you work out which do I want the numbers to move, do I want the letters to move, and you put the $signs where you need to. Here the $sign in front of the letter is a bit redundant because I'm going to drag this down all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to copy that now. I'm going to drag that down, and I'm going to paste it. I use Control C and Control V there as a method. There was an alternative method of doing that, which you see I'm in the cell here, and you can see there's this little square here, this sort of green square. I could have dragged like that. I could have clicked into that, I could have got hold of it, and I could have dragged down like that there, and that was a perfectly alternative method of doing it. Okay, so that's given me the net figure. The net figure that I wanted. So I've used up my lookups in here. So I've got a Vlookup in there. And now it says use absolute referencing. So we've already learned absolute referencing. We needed absolute referencing for the previous part of it. Use absolute referencing to calculate the gross value of using this VAT figure over here. So we're not just going to go, you could try and cheat this here, but you'll lose in a second. You could do, well, the rate's 1.2, so let's multiply I5 by 1.2 and copy that down. Yes, that gives the gross. However, there is also a later requirement in this question, which I'll highlight for you in a second. Instead, we're going to have to use absolute referencing on this cell. So instead, we're going to go, it must be that times by, well, the VAT rate was 20%, so it must be 1 plus this VAT rate here, and a bracket. So that would be the equation that we've written. So whatever this net figure was, times to create it to the gross would be 1 plus the VAT figure. So I put that in there. Now you can see here I've not put absolute referencing in. I've left this out. And let's see what happens when I drag this down. See, it looks all horrible, doesn't it? And because that G1 has become a G2 here and a G3 here. I wanted this I figure, this to be I7. I didn't want that to drag down. That was working nicely. I like that. There's B6. Sorry, yeah, so that it goes down to B6 there, oh I6, sorry, I6 there, that goes down to I7, that's nice, I like that, that's I8, that's correct. But this movement away from this VAT figure doesn't work. I didn't want it to move from there, I wanted to stay stuck on that, so I'm going to put a little $sign in here, and now I'm going to copy that down. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do, instead of copying it, I'll do the way in which I can show you again. You can grab hold of that little green square in the bottom right hand corner of the cell, and you can drag down like that. Okay, so that's how we can do it. So that is that's the absolute referencing here. Now, why was this important to do that rather than to cheat? Well, the last part of the question was to show your equations, and also as well to slide this out. So I'm going to, in order to show your equations, you press the Control key and the little graph key, which is just graph one, which is just under the escape one. So you press Control and the graph, and then you'll see that it sort of now moves, and that has put it from showing the values to showing formulas. And the question was to show your formulas, to then move the cell width so you could see it. So in order to move the cell width, we go in here, and you can see when I've got my got my sheet to the edge, and that little sort of cross thing moving around there. So I get my mouse, I put it up to there. That comes up, that little cross, see how it sort of just changed there, and that sort of saying, now, and then I put my finger, I press the down on the actual mouse, the left trigger in the mouse, and then I move it around. That's there, so I can sort of see what it was, and I've got my equations there. I then print screen that, and so you'll just have to find that in terms of whatever's on your particular keyboard, and those can be a little bit different between keyboards on that one. I print screened it, and I'm supposed to put it in another worksheet. So I'm going to open up another worksheet. So this is where we get the new sheet. See how it's coming up there? Down here, this little plus sign. Press the plus. Here's a sheet, and then in order to print screen it in, I paste it in. So Control V, and there's my print screen. And that was the question. I'll now switch it back from the formulas to values. Yeah, so I did the Control and the little graph key, which is just under the escape one. Finger on the Control key, hit the graph, and that then switches back to values. So we've removed the duplicates in here. And actually, if the question was which were the invoices, we've done it in a better way to do that. We've calculated the net using this lookup here, and we've calculated the gross using the VAT figure there in that cell, and we've used absolute referencing. We've put the number of duplicates in there, and we've also as well print screened and shown equation. And that is part A of that. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you can go back and sort of see it again and again and see how it works. Good luck.